Welcome to LSC, it's sports time. I'm your host, Bob Hintz. Today I have with me Terrell Joyce, a former baseball player out at Woodside High School. Welcome.
Thank you, thanks for having me.
Glad to have you in here. This is kind of a last minute deal, but we'll explain why we're doing it. Well, you grew up in Newport News.
Yes, sir.
But you didn't start playing ball until real late.
Yeah, around 8th grade.
Well, what did you start, what got you involved in it?
Well, I had two buddies named Dylan Everett and Julian McKeever, and we played a little pickup baseball and over at Dozier, and our teacher, Miss Skaggs, told us that we should try for the JV team. So all three of us went out and tried out, and we ended up making the team, and it just all started there.
Wow. So you had to have somebody say, quit playing sandlot, get with some organized stuff. So now you're playing organized, a little different than sandlot, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an everyday thing now.
So tell me some of the things that the coach taught you that you didn't pick up, playing sandlot.
Basically, just the general knowledge. I didn't really know much at all. I just had to get and go with it.
Was you always an infielder?
No,
shortstop?
Sir. I started off an outfielder.
Okay, but you end up being an infield, shortstop and third base.
Yes, sir.
And that's the tough places to play. I mean, you got the long throws to throw from there.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all, but I think it was fun. It was a learning experience, and I got used to it.
Have you always had a strong arm?
Not so much. I usually had to work at it, a lot of long toss, and just an everyday work, and started working out.
Right. Do you do any weight programs or anything like that to help you?
Yes, I started after sophomore summer. My dad asked me if I really wanted to get better at my game, so we got a gym membership over at One Life, and it was just an everyday thing. 6 a.m. we got to working out.
6 a.m.
6 a.m.
Well, a lot of people call that old dark 30. Yeah. You get up before it gets light out. But they also played in rec league. You played with the Virginia Canes and the Virginia Diamonds. Do you remember some of your teammates and coaches? Yeah,
a lot of my teammates played at Warwick High School from the Canes, and Dylan Everett was already on the Canes. So they said if I needed to up my game a little bit more, I needed to get on the AAU team.
Right.
So I joined the Canes at first. And after that, my freshman summer, I ended up joining the Virginia Diamonds.
Okay.
And I played that all the way through my high school career.
Did you remember who your coaches were? Did you have different coaches as you got older, or
yeah, my head coach was Coach Evans for the Virginia Canes, and then for the Diamonds was Will Almond, Bill Almond, and Nick Ham.
Okay. Then you go on to varsity.
Yes, sir.
And who's your coach at the varsity level?
Chris Trotter and Kevin Hare.
Okay. And when did you move to the infield?
I was an infielder when I got to Woodside. They got me at third base.
Okay.
And then I played varsity my 10th grade year all the way up, and then I moved to shortstop. Our shortstop ended up hurting his arm pretty bad, so he couldn't make those long throws, so I ended up taking his spot.
You're the one that has to go in the hole, get the ball, make the long throws, right. But you didn't play just baseball. I mean, you had a lot of sports you played. As a freshman, you played golf.
Yes, sir.
You still play golf?
I do.
Oh, I'm a golfer. I love that. That's great. Good eye-hand coordination.
It was great. I think that was one of the first sports I started, though, when I was real young. My dad got me into golf, and we stuck with it. And now I just play on my off days.
Well, that's good. And then as a sophomore, you even played some football.
Yes, sir.
What made you want to play a little football? Because you're talking contact sport now.
I never wanted to play football. I didn't really like the general sport, but I always told my dad I'd try it for him, and tried it my sophomore year. Right. I really did like it, but I like baseball a lot.
Baseball was your passion.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then you did some swimming. And volleyball.
I did swimming, volleyball my senior year, just to stay in shape. I just wanted to keep everything going.
So. Now, what are some of the teammates you had when you were at Woodside?
We had Matt Zaff, Evan Eichelberger, Brandon Rendez, Dylan Everett. That was my senior class. Right. So that's who I graduated with.
Now, you had a chance to graduate. You had a chance to go to Delaware State, but you decided to go a different route.
That was because, the whole junior college, you can get drafted after your first year and second year. Right. I didn't want to wait until my junior year. I wanted to get every chance I could. So we ended up taking a trip down to Florida and tried out for 2 other teams, and we ended up picking Florida State at Jacksonville. Okay.
Now, while you're down there, how long were you down there?
We were down there for a weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Okay. We took that 10-hour drive, did 3 workouts, and then went from there.
Okay, now, so you had your first year then after high school was down in Jacksonville?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then during the summer you played, is that when you went and played with the Pilots?
Yes, sir, I did.
Different ball game here.
Wood bat.
We're talking wood bat league. Talk about the difference, because you had to make some adjustments, I'm sure.
Oh, definitely. When I got home, you know, we wanted to join the Pilots, and everybody else that was already on the Pilots ended up signing up in early September. So it was a long shot for me to get on the team. So I went to the field, met with both Morgans, sat down and talked to them, and they gave me a contract for 14 days. And I had to perform for those 14 days to be able to stay on the team.
And you evidently did.
Yes, sir.
And did you play, would you shortstop or third? What did you play there?
I played left field and DH.
Oh, you played left field,
yes,
so
sir.
move you back out in the outfield.
Yeah.
Did you find that the hitting was a little different from the aluminum bats to the wood bats?
Not so much, because, you know, when I'm not playing in real games in high school, I always use wood bats. So now I was really familiar with it already.
Right. Talk a little bit about the talent in the 757 for baseball. Because we know there's a lot of football players, basketball players and all that come from this area. And there's some good talent in baseball too.
Yes, sir.
Talk a little bit about the talent that you saw when you were playing high school ball.
The talent here was ridiculous. And of course, we had Minchfield my junior year. They were number one in the nation. Then we had, you know, Jake Cave coming up for kick 10.
Right.
We had Hampton when they had their big year and they went to states. And it was just, you know, it was all a big experience. And I liked it a lot. You know, a lot of these guys are still playing college ball, and that says a lot. And we know we had 3 guys got drafted from the 757 this year. Right.
Well, now David Wright from the 757 from the other side of the water, but you know, does that give you inspiration when you see a guy like, you know, he went through high school, I can make it?
Of course. You know, it's a big uplift that we know that we have big guys that are still playing, and you know, everybody can look up to them, and hopefully that, you know, I can be on the same page as he is.
Okay, now you get drafted, 12th round, Astros. That's got to be a big deal. I mean, this is like almost your dream is starting to come true, because
yes,
I know as a kid you're thinking, oh, I can play baseball in the major league forever, baby.
Yeah, it's very exciting. You know, I had me and my dad and some friends. We were sitting down watching TV. A little nerve-wracking, you know, because it goes player by player. But you know, once my name was called, and it's the best feeling in the world.
All right. Well, we're going to kind of wrap this thing up, but I appreciate you coming in. And the reason we brought you in on a short notice is because Wednesday you're leaving to go to the Astros.
Yes, sir.
So, you know, if we didn't get you now, I don't know when we would have got a hold of you. But anyway, I want you to talk a little bit about the importance of the carryover skills from one, because see, you played a lot of different sports. So there must have been some skills that you used, that you had in baseball, that you used in volleyball and other, and the same thing you've been able to use them. So talk a little bit about that.
Definitely, in all these sports, you know, it's all about work ethic. You know, I always kept my work ethic up, and you know, just a lot of lateral movement. Everything has to do with your feet for the most part. So you know, I worked out a lot every day, and I just made sure that I kept up with my school and everything going on.
So keeping up with school and everything, you're talking time management.
Yes, sir.
So I mean, there's a lot of things you don't get to do because you've made a commitment somewhere else.
Yes, sir. You know, going out with your friends and, you know, movie nights and stuff. Sometimes you just can't do that. You know, if you want to be a student athlete. You gotta make that sacrifice. Yes, sir.
Appreciate you coming in.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for tuning in to LFC and Sports Time. I want to thank my special guest, Terrell Joyce. I'm your host, Bob Hintz. Till next time.
This is Terrell Joyce. This is drafted by the Houston Astros. You're watching LSC, all sports, all the time. This is Terrell Joyce, 2010 Peninsula Player of the Year. You're watching LSC, all sports, all the time.